Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
There we go.
Hey guys, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
All
I
right,
think we can start, yeah.
fantastic. Yep. Okay, looking at the agenda, looks like the first thing we have is from Nils. Is Nils on? Yes, artifactory configuration and maintenance window.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Just to quickly pick you up, it's about this connection issue to the Artifactory that we currently see in CI. and from customers. And it looks like the JFrog support has offered to change some settings and restart the server. And the question is if there are any opinions if this should be done at a certain time with a maintenance window and informing customers. My opinion, I think the impact is very low because the information is that it will be a 5-minute restart. And if you are okay with this, I would pick a time where a lot of people from us are online in order to monitor Slack and CI to answer quickly. But I don't see a huge impact. Are there opinions?
Yeah, the only opinion which I have on this, which I also shared on the Slack channel, is we need to announce this downtime at least a couple of hours before on the Slack channels, and then we just can go and restart. We don't need to wait for approval from anybody from the community because it's only 5 minutes downtime.
Okay, great. Then I will try to figure out an appointment with Fabio and something that lies a couple of hours before, and then I will inform you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jordan, you have the next one.
Okay, yes. Next order of business is the Bazel proposal. So as I said last time, we already had the proposal opened in GitHub, and we already had the comments from Niels and a question from Lucas. Now, apart from Niels and Lucas, nobody else commented on this issue in GitHub. So anybody wants to share his comments at this moment? Or shall I quickly go through what is the proposal itself first?
It seems like a good idea.
Yeah, okay, so let me go through what is the proposal. So the problem statement is that we currently are maintaining both the Bazel and the Make systems for building the Python and the C and Go artifacts. As the time is progressing, certain things are not ported to Make, so they're only done with the Bazel script, and some of the things are still not implemented in Bazel. Now we are at the point in which we have the Make, which is the current build system, already diverging from the Bazel. So we need to decide either we are going to continue with Make and then stop Bazel and move everything back to Make, or stop maintaining Make and target it for the release, let's say 1.9, to completely remove the Make from the main branch itself. We cannot afford to maintain two build systems because we don't have enough. We don't have enough members who are active on the CI/CD in order to maintain all this. To maintain two build systems in parallel. And my personal opinion is, even if we had members to maintain it, I would not have maintenance of. I would not go with two build system in parallel because it will always create confusions. Now, me personally, I'm for going with Bazel. Because Bazel it's more advanced system for the building of the artifacts, and we already discussed over there, and we limited this for the Docker because we are not going to build the Docker containers itself with Bazel. However, we will use Bazel inside the Docker containers to build the artifacts. And currently, we are using I was going through the containers in majority of the containers. We are using Bazel inside the container to build the artifacts. So if we decide to do this transition, as I said, we will remove all the Make scripts from the main branch, and then we are going to implement the remaining things which are not currently implemented from Make into Bazel, and we are going to change all the containers which we maintain, which are currently using Make, to start using Bazel. So, any comments on this? Or Niels, if you want to add something, or yeah, Lucas, go ahead.
So the question I asked on the bug was, what is the scope of the work to actually complete this? And whether or not there's additional budget. Nils replied that the work to be completed is basically, it's in scope of the existing community handover project. And any additional work that needs to happen could be covered within the scope of already authorized budget and time, as long as we made a rapid commitment to do this. So I find that to be a convincing argument. And maybe we should just talk about any additional items apart from that, but I personally find that pretty compelling.
Two sentences to add. One thing first to the summary from Jordan. I just want to make sure this only concerns the access gateway. The Bazel effort is only for the access gateway. So there are other components, orchestrator, NMS, and so on. These are actually, I can't really tell you how much Make is involved there, but these are Docker images, but they are not concerned about the ongoing Bazel effort. The second thing is to Lucas, what is missing, what is needed for the switch over. I mean, one point is missing, what needs to be done in the future. And I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I still want to say it and make sure that it is understood. This is a build system. A build system needs maintenance, stuff gets updated, and it needs, or is upgraded externally, and it needs to be included in Magma and so on. So there is maintenance effort, but in my opinion, this is the same effort that is needed for each build system, so it would be the same for Make.
So, given your first point that that current Bazel work only covers access gateway, it's actually not possible to get rid of Make for the other components.
It would be possible, of course.
Yeah. I mean,
but it needs to be analyzed. For example, NMS is a front-end component. It's built with TypeScript, and then it needs to be checked. How well
it's using Yarn. NMS is using Yarn for build. I don't think it will be a big problem to integrate with Bazel. It could be a couple of lines of settings because the rest is done in Yarn anyway.
Yeah, I had a quick look. There are TypeScript rules in Bazel, but it needs to be checked what is the best way forward if the community wants to migrate that.
So, Jordan, was your point to cover the other components, for example, do that NMS component?
We in my proposal, I was not trying to cover the NMS component. It's I needed to update over there. Because what we are discussing here, it's mainly for the artifacts which are on the AGW.
Yeah.
Now I had in mind CW the Wi-Fi controller as well, because this is similar type of modules which are building over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is covered in the current scope, or we will need to extend the scope. But the most urgent thing would be for the AGW, because this is the main component which we are building, where we depend on heavily depend on these build systems which are diverging.
The carrier Wi-Fi gateway is not covered as well, but my understanding is that this component also only consists of Docker images.
They are based on the AGW components. So I have not looked through that one as well. So we need to go and look how these containers are built. And yeah, you are right. I mean, majority are Docker containers, but we need to see how they are built. And there is the additional thing over there. There is a radius server as well, which is additional component for the CWG. But we need to grow through that one and see what's the effort of moving. But the most urgent thing and the proposal actually is related to the AGW.
Yeah.
Seems to me we should make a list of what's in, out, and, you know, kind of on the line. I had a little comment about that.
I think Niels already added a comment after me over there that, yeah, it's only concerns the AGW. I will just copy paste that component. Yeah, actually you've put covered under this for key AGW, correct? So you already put it. We will need to put what's not covered. Okay.
So Jordan, in that proposal that you're talking about, is that a requirement? What all that we need to do to convert a gateway to work with Bazel? Is that what you mean?
Sorry?
When the proposal is what you're talking about, is that a requirement? What all the work that we need to do after analysis to convert a gateway to comply to the Basel bill? Is that, am I understanding it right?
The proposal is high level of the steps which we need to do in order to transition from Basel to Make, from Make to Basel, sorry.
For gateway, okay.
For AGW, correct.
Got it.
And I was proposing over there to transition on a release because this will be the easiest way. If we transition in between, we might have problems with some of the people who are trying to build from the master continuously.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to transition on a release.
Okay.
So by example, after release 1.9, afterwards we will not have make anymore for AGW.
Got it. Do we have a community team who wants to take it up and do this? Is it like, okay, anyways, once you have that requirement, we can see how big is this task, right?
I mean, as already said, my understanding or my opinion is we will get it ready in scope of the handover. So there are a couple of last steps that still need to be done, but afterwards somebody from the community should take over as a driver, as a contact person for Basel, for the normal ongoing build system maintenance.
Yeah.
Maybe a quick advertisement for that. This Wednesday, we will have a show and tell for Basel. So people who are interested in this topic, feel free to come. It would be helpful for a handover to find people who feel responsible for this topic. But again, it's same. People are needed for each build system to drive it, to be responsible. For Make, it would be the case for Basel then as well.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, then I'm putting the proposal for vote. So we will update what is excluded in the proposal. The exclusion is the orchestrator CWG and CWG. The components which are not going to cover it will be the building the Docker containers, and the components which are covered is building of AGW. So I think we have enough people to vote. Shall we go with the vote?
Yep, looks
So-
like we have enough.
If you raise the motion, I would second it.
Okay, did someone raise the motion?
Yes,
Right.
I mean,
I raise the motion.
And then, thank you, and Max seconded. All in favor, say aye.
I
I,
Any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, motion carries.
okay, thank you, everyone.
Sorry, can I have one last detail question, Jordan? Because we could move forward with this really quickly. Would you, did I understand you correctly? You want to align it with the release because we could make the switch now very fast. Most of it is already prepared.
No, we will make this we will remove, because part of the switch is to remove the make.
Yes.
Correct. So we will remove the make only during release 1.9. So all the
Okay.
transition will be done. Make will remain. We will from now we will just put over there that it's obsolete. We immediately put in the all the make scripts, and we put message in the make that it's already obsolete. And when 1.9 arrives, we are removing it in 1.9, because if you currently just remove, many build systems will fail.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, we can go to the next topic,
Yeah, the
software
next-
architecture documents.
Correct. The next topic is I was these days I was going through the code a lot, because I was trying to understand what all components we have in the code, and it's quite difficult to find documents for lots of things which we have in the code. So we desperately need to start creating software architecture components, starting first of all the list of the high-level components and how they interact. Apart from the architecture, the top-level architecture diagram which we have in the main README of the repository, we don't have too many information. We have something for the AGW, which needs to be updated as well, but we don't have anything for the orchestrator, and we don't have anything for the carrier Wi-Fi. So all these things needs to be documented, and then we need to go a little bit deeper and start documenting what are the main libraries which are used and how they are used, in order for the community to be able to pick up and continue with the development. Now, some components have some information inside, but some components are, as I said, completely missing. So my proposal is, and I will create a proposal for the next meeting in GitHub, and I will call everybody to comment. It's to start documenting this, creating documents into either in Wiki or in or in the documentation which we have in the Doczilla. So in order to be able to have easier, I mean, much easier transition to the community development. Otherwise, my feeling is that lots of information will be left with the people who are gradually leaving the project. So any comments on this?
Maybe a quick comment. In my opinion, there's already a lot of documentation. Maybe it's not that good organized. I don't know if this is in scope for the documentation we are currently writing, but I've had good experience with Arc42. I don't know if you heard about this documentation format for architecture. But again, I think this would be out of scope for the documentation we are currently doing, because it would be a larger effort to use it, to implement it, and to structure the information in that way. But it's just a recommendation. It could be a huge benefit for Magma.
And I have not seen that format. So if you can drop some information,
Yeah, I can
maybe
do
we
that.
can yeah. But and also Shubham dropped a link which is from the Magma India, and yes, that site contains much more details than what we have in our repository. And we need to organize it, and maybe we need to start getting this information back to our repository.
Yeah, sure.
I think there was already in a few months ago a discussion to somehow merge and cross-link Magma India with our side of the Magma documentation, or at least the side that I'm more aware of.
Do we know who is maintaining this documentation?
For Magma official documentation, it's on GitHub. For Magma
No.
India, it's
Uh-huh.
me and other community members.
Okay, but then Shubham, can you tell us what would be required to move this documentation to, or to cross-link it and merge it to the main GitHub?
So the platform is different on Magma official, it's Docusaurus. On
Mhm.
this, it's read the docs. So platform is different, but yeah, we can find a way to merge it. I don't know I think it's Markdown on that side, and here it's different format. But yeah, we can come on similar grounds where we can merge these things.
Okay, so I'll prepare this again as a proposal in GitHub. And
Yeah, it's actually
Mhm.
all its code is also public on GitHub.
Mhm.
If anybody wants to pull the code and let's say publish it somewhere, so it's easily doable. But yeah, if we have to merge both of these things, then yeah, we have to plan things out.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll create the proposal on the GitHub. So let's put all these things over there, and at least we will have tracking of what we have decided and how we will continue with the.
Sure.
Okay, anybody additional comments on this one, or we can move to the next? Okay. I think Lucas, Lucas, your turn.
Hello. So I wanted to bring up the issue of the budget. This is kind of maybe it's delicate, maybe it's not. I don't have a hardwired proposal because I'm not sure we're ready for that, but I wanted to make sure that we had an explicit item to figure this out. We have some money to spend and we have some goals. We have some expenses. I don't think it was totally clear in the last meeting how we were going to resolve the spending and the budget. Before I open up the floor for general discussion, sorry, hold on just a sec, Max. Actually, no, in fact, yeah, go ahead. I'll come back. I do have one other thing to add, but go ahead, please.
Okay. Yeah, just I thought the last time we started with that topic, we ended with creating the work groups so that they can come up with a roadmap and a proposal, what is needed for Magma, and to have that as a foundation for planning budget.
So the process is each work group proposes, makes proposals and documents expenses, and those get submitted to the overall TSC.
Maybe not directly expenses, but a roadmap and goals and targets. If we know what is necessary for, what are the requirements for CI, what are the requirements for security, what else is coming up. we can make an informed decision. But that's my what I recall from that meeting. Sam, you raised your hand.
Yes, if I may. These different work group proposals, if people have request for budget or funding on a project, doesn't have to be bunched up. So my question to the TSC is, if any of the working group is ready, which perhaps Lucas has a proposal that he wants to put in, why not have the work group ask them to come up with a funding proposal now, or as soon as they're ready? Is there any objection to that?
No objection. I mean, whoever is ready, just open the proposal.
Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid of first come, first serve. But yes, I generally agree that we should get started on that.
Right.
Would these be like the old grants, or how would we do that documentation?
Do we have a format? Kendall?
No, we don't have a current format in place, but the TSC is welcome to create a format that we can follow.
I would strongly prefer to have something that that builds a roadmap, or that describes goals, and that can be interleaved with all the other proposals instead of having several independent proposals, and trying to understand how they interact.
So Lucas, if you are the first one, and if you have a suggestion, or if you have a format or formats, why don't you just run it by TSC, and then people can comment on it and trim it as concise as possible, but covers all the points.
I guess I'll make a proposal. And I'll use the kind of goals document that I put together, and what I know about the budget. But also I see Max's point that we want to understand the overall picture, and yours that we want to just start with what we have as opposed to get bottlenecked in what we don't have yet.
So individual working groups wouldn't have the visibility of the other working groups as much in detail. My suggestion is just do maybe look, TSC can guide a certain time frame. They said just do a proposal for the next 90 days or 60 days, or however you think is appropriate, if that makes sense. And rather than making it very complex. And then if there's an issue, you get opined back and pushed back as needed.
And also,
time frame. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, the only concern which I have on the proposals, they should be very gradual. They should not be umbrella or high level. They should be very down to the point, because the budget is limited. So we want to have very gradual proposals in order to be able to manage it properly.
I agree.
And Jordan, TSC can, of course, suggest that in the first tranche, just make monthly proposal for the time being. That'll by definition will limit it and make it scoped, and it'll also allow us to meet TSC to meet objectives and track.
Yeah, correct. I mean, this is also gradual. I mean, whatever gradual somebody prefers, maybe gradual in very limited scope, gradual in limited time, but gradual. Not like we have proposal for the whole year and for one big project inside the.
So basically we would, well, okay, so are we talking about limiting, like a vision for the budget that is limited to the money that we have, like the cash in the bank? Or are we envisioning more cash coming into the bank? We take our existing cash in the bank, we divide it by 12, that's what we have to spend. Is that kind of the framework?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any money coming in. What we have is all we have.
So let's say we're gonna pass a budget, I don't know, in the next. Sometime soon. Let's just say, to get the math clean, it's
So the
March.
TSC doesn't need to create a budget. There's just a bucket, is a discretionary fund that the TSC gets to decide what it's spent on. There is already an approved budget for 2023 that the board set in place before they dissolved. So the TSC does not need to actually create a budget, but they do have to make sure that, you know, the correct, if you will, the correct proposals getting approved and whatnot, and then not overspending over their discretionary amount.
Does that mean there are existing commitments that come out of the total?
Not for the amount that is already allocated to the TSC, the discretionary funds. There's nothing coming out of that right now. It's blank slate of what the TSC wants to use for tooling, staff, and whatever else.
May I make a recommendation? I mean, under these conditions, it's impossible to do it in one pass. A clean, fair to all, equitable project across the thing. We know that we don't have enough money for that. So my suggestion is, if you are ready in your working group in an area, start with a proposal. And that's actually better because the TSC can then see the readiness in some sense on the different groups that are coming in, and then let the TSC decide at that time. Right? That's the only way the TSC can decide. If there are multiple projects, then you can stack rank them.
But it sounds like you're envisioning that the natural scope of the budget wouldn't be 12 months, but something else. Like there'd be some milestone of success where there is some time milestone that is tied to project goals that might end up causing more money to be unlocked.
I don't know. And I was actually making a different point. My point is, if you are ready and if you think there's certain things that are urgent,
Yeah.
you think they should be addressed, make them granular, like Jordan said, and then put a proposal in and let the TSC as a group decide. The TSC has both the continuity and familiarity with the project. So if TSC is the only way they can actually make a decision properly, is if there's a granular proposal in the product thing, and the TSC might come back and say, okay, we have suggested 5 things. We're going to do this thing first until the rest of the group start coming up with it and so on. I don't have a vision about how the budget should be done and stuff like that, but that's my sort of observation.
Yeah, the way I understand is that budget is up to TSC, meaning that all the proposals coming to TSC, then we can decide on the TSC where to spend the money and how to spend the money. Now the problem is that we don't have huge amount of money to spend, so it will be very difficult in certain cases. This is why I was asking to have very low granularity on the proposals, so it will be easier to be fair across all the working groups, because all the working groups should come with these proposals. If we come with certain proposal which is taking whole budget, I mean, I don't think that anybody from here, from the current TSC, would even vote for it. So, you know, also this is also from a practical reason. You know, so more granularity, it will be much easier for anybody to give the vote or to give the positive or negative vote for the certain proposal.
We want to like set a deadline and then you know, anticipate having a vote, you know, on that deadline.
I mean, there is no deadline per se. It should come as a proposal in the same way that we are bringing all other proposals to a TSC. The only thing is, when we discuss about real money, we should do it in the non-recorded session. So on this session, we will discuss about the technical benefit of what is proposed. I mean, not only technical, about the benefit of what is proposed. And then we will have subsequent session to see what is the budget required, which will not be recorded. So the way I see it is it will be basically in 2 stages. I mean, if we agree in this session that something makes sense and it's good technical proposal, good benefit, then we will discuss the budget wise on the next session. If we decide on this session that it doesn't bring benefit, then we are not going to have subsequent session to discuss the budget. But this is more of from a practical perspective. I mean, if somebody has different opinion, please.
I just want also to highlight that such a proposal should highlight why that's something that shouldn't be done by the community. So I think we should focus the invest that we make on the stuff that is essential to have on top of a community, not to replace the community. So that's good to highlight in a proposal.
So is this I'm going to try to paraphrase what we've said and kind of what we're moving towards. There would be a proposal for a particular project. That proposal would be as fine-grained as possible. The proposal would cover what we need to make a compelling case for why the community couldn't own the deliverable. The proposal would be discussed in a TSC meeting, maybe the regular Monday meeting. However, it would be off the record, so we would stop the recording. How is that? Have I missed anything? Gotten anything wrong?
The proposal will be discussed, the benefit of the proposal will be discussed on the recorded meeting. The budget for it will be discussed on the non-recorded meeting. I mean, I would not use off the record because that one will be also on the record,
Yeah.
but will be on the record with Linux Foundation and and the TSC only. Will not be public.
Also a reminder, we are still paying for the AWS account because we just stopped the instances. We did not delete it, so we are still getting billed.
Yeah, but didn't that go down? Like
No,
a lot?
it got down around 90%, but yeah, we're still paying a lot. And if we don't need those resources, we can just simply get rid of those.
I mean, when we stopped them, nobody complained.
Yes.
Yeah, the last I heard, we were getting rid of that because we did not budget for AWS this year.
But yeah, so should we delete all those things?
Put a proposal for the next meeting of TSC to delete to clean the instance of AWS, and then let's vote on it.
I think we already did that, and that's how we ended up stopping all the instances. And we decided if nobody complains, we should delete it. And I think it's the time. Niels, I think you were there when we did this. When we stopped all the instances on AWS.
Sorry, I was muted. We did shut down the Bazel remote cache, so we found another solution for that. But for the other running instances, I don't know who created them and used them.
So we just stopped them. They are currently in stop state, but we are still paying for the volume, storage, and backups and snapshots. So what should we do? Should we get rid of those so we don't have to pay anymore?
I mean, I was trying to find in the records if we were voting on this, on the deleting. And I cannot find the reference if we were voting on the deleting. So if we already voted on the deleting, then of course you can go ahead and delete. But if we didn't, mhm.
We voted on stopping, not deleting.
Yeah, correct. Stopping we did. For
Yeah,
stopping we did.
May I ask what is the amount that we're paying right now for the stopped residual stuff?
Yeah, just a second. I can give you exact numbers. It's around $120 a month.
Okay, my recommendation is to at least take the snapshots and images and the stuff and put them into Glacier or something, so that for about a couple of $100 a month, we have some assurance in case we need to pull something out.
So even with the snapshots, the person who created those instances, we don't have their private key. We cannot use those snapshots.
I see, thanks.
Yeah. So, and I don't see any important stuff. These were all just test VMs, and in their description also, it's all over like test image, and testing is all over the place. So I don't see any harm in deleting those.
So Shivam, for the record, so in your opinion, and with the association of this thing, that you actually would recommend deleting them, is that correct?
Correct.
So Jordan, just take a vote.
Yes, so
Because since this account was created, I have been managing this from day one, and I have like done a lot of work on different regions. But the US North Virginia region was used by many developers, and most of them left. But their instances were running, so we can see who, like which individual developer created that instance. And I've talked to individually, like Tim was there, Quentin was there, and some were automatically created by our GitHub Actions, and we know why these instances were created, and there is no harm in deleting them.
okay, so what I would suggest is this. Let's announce this into the dev channel that we are preparing to delete the instances. I will put it in the agenda for the next meeting for all of us to officially vote on it. And then, I mean, there is no harm for 1 week. We were paying up to now, we can afford paying for 1 or 2 more weeks. Just to make sure that we are not deleting something that we might regret later.
Sure, we can do that.
Guys, a quick question. How can we get access to this AWS account?
This was owned by Linux Foundation, so we used it last year for the development purposes, but it comes under TSC now. So only approval, once the TSC approved, then we can only use it.
Okay,
for
and
development.
what is the process to get the approval? Can somebody share the
The
link?
process is the same as for
Yes,
any other funding stuff. If you think that there's a significant value for the community that cannot be come up by the community, you can create a proposal that we should sponsor AWS, or we should have AWS paid from our budget with an estimation of budget costs and the benefit for the community.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
I think these AWS items don't have anybody speaking for them in a sort of positive way, right? So nobody's making the case, well, we have such and such a feature, such and such a community member who is relying on these. And so it's likely that they'll go away. And we should generally apply that litmus test to any expense, that anything we spend should have a positive affirmative case to be made. Like there's one of these grant proposals.
If something doesn't bring value to the community, it's either bringing value to the project, or it's bringing value to the community, or it's increasing the community. Then I mean, me personally, I would not vote for approval for any expense which is not in one of these 3 categories. And as I said, I trust that many other people will not vote for approval. So bottom line, whatever we come up with proposals, we need to justify and what is the value that we bring to the community. And yes, I mean, for the AWS, I'm pretty sure we will delete them, but I want to have some process before we jump into deleting them because, you know, somebody may jump over there and say, yeah, we have something which we want to make backup first.
Right. So summing up, in the next meeting a week from now, we'll do a vote on these AWS charges and resources, and we'll probably have some other grant proposals to vote on. And we'll kind of do this on a week-by-week basis.
Sure, and I wouldn't call them grant proposals, just for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not grants, correct?
Correct.
They're expenses.
Yeah. Right, that sounds good. Any other agenda items for today?
Yes, I have one. There's some discussion about a bird of a feather session during MWC. Has there been any update that anybody attending today know about it? Maybe interest and so on.
No, so we were waiting for you. At least I was waiting for you.
No. So I am trying to put. I'm sending the message out to people interested in attending that. I'm just trying to get a guidance from TSC if there's any formal plan, or is this is something that we can announce through or whatever do we have a venue even and so on. I haven't heard talking to people yet.
Yeah, we need to start announcing the things, because I mean, whoever as a rule, whoever from us attends some of the conferences, we need to announce it through Magma as well, through the Magma community. I mean, this will increase the outreach, and it will increase the visibility. So since me and Kadir are attending the Mobile World Congress, we need to announce this. At least this is my opinion.
Kendall, is there a process, or is there? Do you recommend just announcing on the Slack channels, or how should we do about it?
I think Slack channels would be the best place. And then I believe we're having an outreach meeting this week that will have a marketing person join from LF that is going to help with our marketing needs, and he should maybe have some suggestions that but as for like venue and whatnot, I talked with LF Networking. They have a session, but they're not doing any kind of sponsor or anything, so they don't have a meeting room that we could use. So I don't know if any companies that are going to attend, if they have any spot for this.
Does LF has a booth, Kendall? Do you know? Or just yes?
Overall LF, I do not know. I doubt it, but I can triple check. I don't think so, but we wouldn't be able to do something with the LF booth anyways.
Jordan, on the ARM, do you have any space? If not, I can probably work through some space.
I mean, we have space for the Connect 5G, and the only focus which we have is Connect 5G. Over there will be Magma.
Okay, so I can find a room that's not at least 5 to 6 people. Meeting room is not a difficult thing for me, right? If the room is required, I can look around and share the timings. I hope the thing is, challenge is that the timing has to work for everyone, right? Whoever is going to. But at least from the marketing point of view, we can tell them, hey, we're going to have a Magma meeting here. Why don't you come?
I mean, I'll try to get because we will have access to the meeting rooms over there. So I'll try to see if we can schedule a meeting room.
Sure.
And if not,
if you cannot, then let me know. I will.
Yes, correct.
Work
correct.
my
Correct.
Sure.
Thanks. That's all I had.
Great. Anything else for today? All right, then we can go ahead and end early. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.